Hello, 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 wonder people. This is Dr. Nicole, and I am here with you. It is Saturday here in the United States of America, and at about 10:30 p.m. coming into the studio, and it's Saturday. It's Saturday sound off. So before I go any further, remember I'm Dr. Nicole. I'm your guide at the side into this whole positivity 100-day journey. I'm your partner in possibility and positivity. I am your rise and ride. I am your positivity champion, cheering you on for life. So, look here. Now that you know a little bit about who I am, where you've landed, you can see right at the bottom of the screen here, Practicing Positivity, the studio. This is our dynamic shared learning lab. This is our community dojo where we can come in with the expressed, explicit, unapologetic intent to curate, to cultivate, to collect resources, strategies, tools, practice time in the arts, in the sciences, in the muscle memory, quite frankly, of those things that help us to nurture, help us to generate or regenerate that sense of energy, vitality, and zest for that L-I-F and E. You know, LIFE, those three letters hold a lot of water inside of that cell. So let's kind of unpack it and let some of that out. What we mean here in the studio, L, a sense of lightness of being, love flowing in the heart space. I, inspiration and imagination. I am able to see something beyond the particular circumstance or the presenting conditions that it is. F, freedom, fun, and a faithfulness to not just complete or to fulfill our purposed mission in this life, but to be on the journey of discovery. So, a faithfulness to the inquiry, the faithfulness to the unfolding, the faithfulness to the emergence of that unique, special thing that we are here to bring into the world. All of this pressed down, shaken together, kneaded like a good dough to create an exceptional, extraordinary experience of this thing that we're living and breathing every day called life. That we live it on purpose. And for us to live it on purpose, we need a practice. We need a set discipline to it. There has to be something that we hold gently, yes, but we hold it with intent, with clarity, with a consciousness to be in a mode of consciously creating this thing we call life. So that LIFE is a powerful four-letter word for us here. So you all know how we do. Inside of this 100-day journey of practicing positivity, whenever we come into the studio together, I always invite you to grab something to write with, grab something to write on. If it's a post-it note, an index card, maybe it's just your notes app on your phone, but something that whatever gets kind of shaken up, whatever gets mentioned, whatever catches your attention, to say, hey, pay attention to this. We might want to revisit it later, or gosh, this really struck me in a certain way. Whatever it is, we want you to be able to hold on to it. And again, as you all know, I've become a huge fan of writing things down because it activates not just one part of the brain or a particular part of the body. It helps us to take those things that resonate, those things that have a certain vibration for us, and it really situates it in the body, in our physiology, tripping off our analytical mind, but also our creative mind. So it brings it all together. So writing something down, again, is a fantastic way to just hold it, hold that note a little bit longer as it we kind of get it nestled down into the good soil of our manifestation, our creative juice, if you will. So we have a little formula here, but Saturdays are a little bit different. So there's a little insight, a little bit of practice, trying to always share a little nugget, a little something to feed. Remember, we said we're in practicing positivity, the studio. We like to engage in things that nurture, that nourish our sense of, gosh, how are we really building up this energy, this zest, this vitality for life? So a little something for you to build with and build on. Practice something that, yeah, it's great to have or to talk about a good idea, but then of course, hey, what can you take out of here to road test, to put it to work in your life? And then of course, we always like to conclude with just a little bit of a pause, a little bit of time here, just to give you a moment to take what you've heard, to take what your own mind, heart, your own brilliance and genius and creativity, how you've mixed it up, how whatever is emerging for you, but to let it settle. So we always take, even if it's just 15, 20 seconds, but a moment where no matter what's gone on in the day, you have a second where you can just kind of let that thing settle for you. So, that said, here we are. We are on day 26 of our 100-day journey. And so, the insight that I have, and for those of you that saw my post on Facebook or in YouTube here, inviting you to pop in as you may be preparing to go out to have some fun for the weekend, or maybe even to settle in to get ready for tomorrow. You know, I just have been had an opportunity to have a great conversation with someone near and dear to me. And in the conversation, we got into this, positive emotions or negative emotions. Is one better than the other? And it sounds like it is. And I started listening and I was like, yeah, the way I've been talking about this positivity, it can sound like I am saying positivity is the best thing. And here's the challenge. If you all also know, if you've been listening with me or worked with me, certainly you've heard me say the power of positivity is in authenticity, is in being authentic. And sometimes being authentic, being true to who I am, how I'm feeling in the moment. The truth is, I don't feel joyous. The truth is, I'm not curious. I am quite convinced, convicted, and committed to my idea about something, despite what you or anybody else would say about it, right? Sometimes I'm not in a place of awe, I'm in a place of despair. Sometimes I'm not in a place of hopefulness and optimism. I might be in a place of depression, and those things are real and true in the moment. So my authenticity might say, hey, wait a minute. No, I don't feel joyous. Things aren't going great. I don't see that I have anything to build with and to build on. So I got to thinking about what I was hearing in this conversation with my near and dear, and I started to really settle down. At first, I found myself being so annoyed. And it was like, oh my goodness, what's here? What is here? I got to take my practice of positivity and really own it for that moment so that I could take a look at what's present right here, right now. Not contemplating my navel curiosity, but I started to just, instead of situating and allowing myself to sink in that moment of annoyance, I decided I would hitch a ride on that passing thought of curiosity, like what is available here? Beyond the why do I feel this way, though sometimes that's exactly where I need to go, or that's in that moment, that's where I started. I really got curious about what's going on here with this. What am I really talking to you all about? What am I working on in terms of this practice of positivity? And a question occurred to me. It's like, what if positivity isn't an endpoint or a final or sole destination? What if it's a channel? What if it's a through point? And as I got to thinking and just allowing myself to settle there, I started to see beyond this positivity or negativity, this good or this bad, that dichotomy that, we Westerners really like our this or that, this either or kind of thinking. And I allowed myself to just get into some both and space with the thing. And I started to play with this idea that it's not about positivity or negativity, good or bad, though some of our emotions of rage or unchecked anger or despair, they can take their toll on our body. So I'm clear about that point. But that still doesn't make them better or worse than our positive emotions. I started to settle in this place of what about positivity being able to help me to be more present to whatever is going on and allowing me to have a flow so that not only could I tell the truth about what I was feeling, but I could access those positive emotions to give me a little buoyancy, to not get sucked under in the riptide of some of those emotions that can do some damage if I don't have enough respect for what they are, the energy that they are, the power that they are. How depression can take you from feeling a little blah to feeling a little bit mm, powerless, to feeling a little bit like, oh, what can I do, to feeling however your downward spiral works. That's how my downward spiral can look. So I started to play with this idea of how to have a conversation about positivity, first with myself, but certainly with you, that extends beyond trying to rah you into thinking positivity is the best thing, do that. But remember, to give you tools, to give you insights, to understand these positive emotions, to give myself tools, insights, to create, show myself, or to teach and train myself how to take an on ramp, to an emotion that will give me energy, that will give me buoyancy, that will give me vitality to address whatever the source of that big raging emotion might be. Because sometimes, as I was reminded in my conversation with my near and dear, sometimes you have those moments of anger and righteous indignation because something happened that shouldn't have happened. Somebody took something from you that they had no business taking from you, or you had to endure something that simply wasn't right. And if I can allow myself to let that be, get curious, see, allow myself to flow through the ebbs, the flows, the ups and the downs of not just the emotion, but what it is that triggered the emotion, that to me is the most life giving, life affirming, and life sustaining outcome that I could hope for. And I can't think of anything that's more positive than that. I can't think of anything that creates a shorter detour to flourishing and thriving than that. So my insight, what if what if positivity isn't an endpoint, it's a through point? So here's our positivity pause moment. How might I wield my positivity wisely? Now, I didn't write this down, but here's what I want you to think about. How can I wield my positivity wisely for myself to not have myself deny or diminish my feelings, to not tell myself tales that, oh, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. I stiff upper lip. I can be the better person. Sometimes it's the best person that you can be is to say, don't do that again. So how can I wield my positivity wisely in a way that is life affirming, life sustaining, life energizing for me first. So how can I wield my positivity wisely for me Second question, you all, or second level, how can I wield my positivity wisely? Watch this, in my interactions with others. How can I wield my positivity wisely in my engagement, in my mixing it up with others? And now I'm going to give you one more qualifier. How can I wield my positivity wisely in those times where it's most challenging for me? In those moments, here's a perfect example. How can I be kind when, how can I be kind? How can I demonstrate empathy in the midst of a crisis where someone else, my near and dear, might be having a rough day? My dog might be going a little crazy. How can I wield my positivity wisely when it's most challenging for me? These are these three levels. How can I wield my positivity wisely for myself? How can I not use positivity to bat down and beat down my emotions or my feelings to try and make myself be something that I'm not, thinking that however it is that I'm feeling, that somehow it's not good enough. I can't take myself as I am. How can I wield my positivity wisely as I engage in general with other people, not expecting them to smile just because it would be more comfortable for me, or not trying to coach people beyond their emotions before I've even heard them, before I've heard what it meant for them. How can I wield my positivity wisely in those moments where it's most difficult for me? How can I wield my positivity wisely in those moments? Maybe it's to say, I'm sorry, I need a few minutes before I can be available to you. I need to take care of myself. So as you take this question with those three levels into maybe your Sunday, think about the week that you have coming up. Consider, how can I wield my positivity wisely? So I'm going to quiet down. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to just be able to think about for yourself, how can I wield my positivity wisely for myself as I engage with others? And how can I wield my positivity wisely when it's most challenging for me, when I've really got to stop and think about it? How can I wield my positivity wisely? How might I wield my positivity wisely when it counts? All right, wherever you are, just leave yourself a nice little bookend so that you can return to this question. I'll invite you to, let's return to it Every day when you start your day, how might I wield my positivity? Notice I didn't say well, I didn't say good. Wisely. Wisely implies with some intent. Not, and I certainly didn't say perfectly. How can I wield my positivity wisely? And you all know how we do as we are coming to into the end of day 26. Just wanting to remind you, hey, if this pause, this moment where we can just kind of come in and engage, have a little time where we get to wrestle with these ideas around positivity, get some practice in with our intentionality and wise wielding of positivity. Remember, if it's a blessing for you, maybe it'll be a blessing for someone else. If it's a gift for you, maybe it'll be a gift for someone else. So, hey, don't forget, like, subscribe, share this channel, share this experience with folks who might be able to make use of it, who will be able to take it and it'll give them a little bit of a boost. So remember, you can always find me at tgcconsultinginc.com. And for more tools, resources, just a good word from me, Dr. Nicole, go ahead and sign up at the URL, the web address that you see at the bottom of your screen. And I look forward to seeing you in your inbox. And with that, I will say good night, so long. I will see you for day 27 tomorrow. Stay well, be well, and I look forward to seeing you soon.